right, y'all, we're live on IG. So now we're about to get live on Facebook. Meal Prep Monday, Nutrition in the Community. So let's go and see what we got going on. Live, baby. Let's see. Waiting on Miss Muhammad to join us on the podcast. All right, Michael Burton, Meal Prep Monday, Nutrition in the Community tonight. You guys got a great show, great info. Let's see. Now we just need to get live on our channel.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Let me change some stuff around real quick. What about now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just doing the caption. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. And now I'm getting ready to change some stuff up to be live on our Facebook. So give me one moment. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me. So just give me one moment.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Ha! I like your hat.
You can see me?
Yeah, I can see you on Instagram.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right, good. Let me wave at you. We got people come in. Mr. Ashley Kelly join. Hello, Mr. Ashley Kelly. All right, we're going to get this show started momentarily. And just like me, to be fashionably late, huh? All right. So, let's see. Give me one moment. And as you can see, I have my food here, and I want you to kind of talk to me about what's good. You know.
Oh, that's funny. You actually have food models. I saw that before.
Yeah. You know, because health and wealth are synonymous. You know. And I actually stole it from you guys. You know, the idea when the nutritionists have this information and when they're having their sessions and stuff. So now we're officially live on Facebook, IG. We have our podcast going. We have a few people joining in live on Facebook. So welcome you guys. Monday, our favorite day of the week. A lot of people hate Monday. I love Mondays. I don't know why. But Mondays, you know, Monday is a money-making day. The stock market's open up on Monday. You get all that passive income coming through. So, you know, I mean, in fashion, I just gotta love Monday. So, without further ado, my name is Michael Burton, Meal Prep Monday, and we have a great guest host tonight, you guys, Miss YaQutullah Muhammad. Did I pronounce that correctly, first and foremost?
YaQutullah, yes.
YaQutullah. Hold on. Let me start that over. Nutrition in the Community with YaQutullah. No. YaQutullah.
Yes, there you go.
YaQutullah Muhammad. So let's get some claps going on for Miss Muhammad. We can do better than that, you guys. Come on. All right, cool. Miss Muhammad, what exactly is the RDN? You know, just me asking, what is an RDN?
Okay, so as a registered dietitian, all registered dietitians actually have to complete their undergraduate. They have the option of also completing a master's degree, and that's actually going to be required as of 2024. And then you also complete a practicum. So you have a practicum where you actually go out into the community, and you also do several hours of experience within a hospital setting. Right? And then you sit for the national exam, which is a registration exam, and then you pass that as well.
And I saw that you spent some time over in Cairo, in Egypt.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man, that's
that was really extraordinary. It was really a great opportunity. I was able to do part of my undergrad there. over the course of 3 summers. So that was really nice.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome. I definitely appreciate you. I mean, I've been knowing you for a while, and it's funny that we're just meeting in on the cyber world now. Talking about community nutrition in the community, which is extremely important, because I talk a lot about the finances, and I tell people that finances and health are synonymous, and it's, you can have all the money in the world, but if you need a liver, a pancreas, the money ain't not bringing it. You got to kind of take care of your body, and I mean, I always say about different people that have a lot of money, and one of the more famous ones, who was the co-founder of Apple, Steve Jobs. Billions of dollars, right? But his health is one thing that you can't buy, or at least if you don't take care of your body, you can replace some stuff, but eventually you're gonna need to take care of some stuff. So I got a few questions lined up, and then we're going to do like a little quiz. I want you to tell me about some of these food selections that we choose to really indulge on. Tell me whether it's good or bad. Kind of like a little game show. How about that?
Okay, cool.
All right. So our first question is, why is proper nutrition so important? Why is it even important? Why should I even care?
Yes. Why should you care? So without proper nutrition, well, you can't really do much else. So your nutrition is really just going to fuel your everyday actions, right? So you really want to think about what you're putting in your mouth, what you're putting in your body, right? Because you are what you eat, and that's the truth. So you really want to make good decisions. You want to make healthy decisions when it comes to your food, so that you can really function to the best of your ability. I think we all kind of understand that part.
Yeah. Well, I can't say we all understand that part, but hopefully the majority of us grasp that,
Well, there's a difference between understanding and actually putting it into action. A lot of us know what to do. It's just a matter of actually doing it.
Yeah. All right. So that brings me to my first trivia. Can you tell me what this is? Because I know you're looking on IG Live. What exactly is this? Can you see this big yellow chunk of... Can you see this, Ms. Muhammad?
I actually cannot see it.
It is cheese.
What do you have?
It is cheese. And I tell people, when you go to Subway do not advertise eating healthy. They say eat fresh. So when you're buying all this stuff, and then at the end they're like, what type of cheese do you want? American, Swiss, cheddar, provolone. So this is a big chunk of yellow government cheese. Why is cheese so advertised in America? Milk, dairy products. Why is that such a big deal?
So what's interesting is you actually have different types of cheeses, right? You definitely have different quality of cheeses, right? And it's not to say that you can't actually have cheese. It's really just depending on your health conditions and what your nutrition goals are, right?
Okay.
A lot of the cheese that we see, we think it's cheddar, but that's not really cheddar cheese, right? If you're looking at real aged cheese, it's going to be a totally different quality, right? And the idea is that we don't overconsume anything in excess, right? So we don't say, oh, we're never going to eat that, or, that's not allowed ever. I believe food's fit. It's just a matter of what you're consuming and how often and with what quantity, right? So a lot of times when they say eat fresh, you have to look at what they're promoting, right? So if you go to Subway in itself, they do have healthy options, right?
Yes.
But it's really going to just depend on what your goals are, and what you're able to eat. Some people aren't able to eat at Subway, right? Because they have dietary restrictions or personal reasons, and things they don't eat, right? So that's really just going to depend on the person, and where they choose to eat.
Okay. I saw on one of your blogs, and I think it was earlier this week, well, ironically this week, it's just Monday, and I read a lot about probiotics, when you're eating yogurt, but I read something that you talk about prebiotics? Pre and probiotics. So what's the difference?
There are things within our diet, right? that actually help promote the growth of healthy gut bacteria, right? So it's really important that if we're looking at, prebiotics, things like chicory root or inulin, high fiber foods, that we're able to incorporate those in our diet. And there's so many different options. A lot of our, you have your probiotics as well, which are or tend to be some of our yogurt products that contain our live and active cultures, which are bacteria, basically good, healthy bacteria that promotes a healthy gut.
Oh, okay. All right. So the next question is, what kind of issues or is eating healthy disproportionate in different communities, whether it's the minority community, in your travels and your education? Have you seen that in some communities, maybe low-income communities, is the eating healthy disproportionate to versus affluent communities, do you think?
Well, a lot of times we have to really kind of look at, our demographic. We have to look at the areas we are living in. Unfortunately, sometimes you look at different zip codes and you're going to have different availability and access to food. A lot of it really depends on what's available, right? And then we're seeing a rise in actual availability of fresh foods from local farms. I know here in Atlanta, we have several farmers such as Bread and Butter Farms, the Save Institute, we have Glen Rose Gardens, and a lot of others, and Truly Living Well, where you can actually sign up and you can actually get access to fruits and vegetables. You also have a lot of community farmers markets in different neighborhoods. So a lot of it is looking at what you have access to in your neighborhood. And then you also have gardens. You can, subscribe. You can support local farmers markets and gardens, and you can also start small gardens at home, right? So there's a wealth of information. A lot of it is just identifying what's available, right? So yeah, we do have, food insecurity and things like that in many of the communities. But there is a workaround. I feel like a lot of it is identifying resources that can be used within these communities. It really just depends on where you are in the United States as well.
Okay, thank you. So Meal Prep Monday here with Miss YaQutullah Muhammad. She's a registered dietitian, nutritionist in the community. Mealprepmonday.podbean.com. If you're following on podcasts, IG, Facebook, and YouTube, we're Meal Prep Monday. So Miss Muhammad, I don't know if you can see me again, but now I'm holding up one of the things that we like but don't like in the community: broccoli. Why is broccoli so?
Depends on who you ask.
I know, exactly. What kids not, this is definitely not their favorite, So what are your take on broccoli? Why is this so important to a balanced nutrition?
Well, broccoli is actually a great source of fiber and vitamin C and vitamin K. So broccoli is a great addition. It's a green vegetable. It's actually a cruciferous vegetable.
Cruciferous? My favorite rapper, T.I., would have loved that word. Cruciferous.
Cruciferous.
I'm gonna write that one down. You're gonna have to email that one to me. Cruciferous. I'm gonna walk around saying that. How's your cruciferous intake? So, all right, cruciferous. Okay. How many times should I eat daily?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. It's funny because it's really just going to depend on what you as an individual have going on. The quality of our foods is just as important as the quantity and how often we eat. It really just depends on your health, your condition, and your goals. Some people say, hey, I'm going to eat, 3 squares a day. And then some people do more of maybe 5 to 6 smaller meals a day. That's really just going to depend on, your health, your goals, your conditions. One example I like is if I'm, counseling some of my diabetic clients, we have to look at meal timings. We have to look at when they take their medication, and whether or not they're going to take it with a meal or a snack. depending on their insulin dosages. So that really just depends on the person.
Okay. I heard you say insulin, and it's like I hear that word floated around in the community so much. You know, my sugar low, what we always used to say in
My sugar is low.
yeah, my sugar. So, you know, I mean, is that, you know, a death certificate when you hear like your sugar, insulin being low or stuff like that?
When you say death certificate, what do you mean?
I mean, when you're is that pertinent to diabetes or hypertension? Your insulin level. I mean, is there such thing as high or low insulin, or when they say my sugar acting up?
So what? Yeah, so when we're looking at it, we're really just looking at the measure of your blood glucose levels. What are your blood glucose levels? You know, and looking at our blood glucose levels tend to rise and fall in relationship, you know, to what we eat, right? So that is really going to influence what our blood glucose levels are. Our ability to produce, you know, insulin to help with the storage of glucose within our cells in our body. So a lot of times what we're looking at specifically, you know, to people with diabetes is really looking at what they eat and how often they eat and whether or not they are on insulin to help store glucose within their body.
All right. So
it's not a death sentence if you have diabetes. Okay, it's very manageable.
Okay.
And I've actually had clients able to come off of their medication, you know, with dietary and lifestyle changes.
Oh wow. See, cool. All right. So the next question is gonna be like a display interactive type question. So the question is, what should I eat? And now I have 2, 4, 5 trays of food here, and then so I can kind of tell you what's in them, and I want you to kind of plan out me a healthy dinner real quick, okay?
A healthy dinner. Now that's going to depend on the person.
Yeah, what I want to eat right now, and I want to eat vegan. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you what I got coming up, or I don't want to say vegan. I'm gonna give you what I have, and you plan it out for me, okay? So I have cauliflower here. I have broccoli. I have roast beef. I have tomato. I have ice cream. I have that big hunk of cheese. I have carrots. I have a brownie. I have corn, bread, an orange, and banana, and a tortilla. So this is dinner. So give me something for dinner. Oh, I have some green peas, some cottage cheese, and a sausage link.
That's so funny. Okay.
All right.
So when you're planning dinner, right?
Yes.
What you're looking at is you're looking at a balanced plate. So when we talk about a balanced plate, we're looking at, are we getting everything we need from our macronutrients, right? So when we talk about our macronutrients, we're really talking about, you know, our fats. We're talking about our proteins. We're talking about our carbohydrates, and you have a lot of options there. It's just a matter of choosing, you know, which ones you want to eat. So for the most part, your broccoli and cauliflower, both of those are non-starchy vegetables, right? Along with your carrots. So you can choose. You can actually choose that. That actually goes in the larger part of your plate.
Okay, so right here. Also, we have a question. We have a question that's coming in, but I'm gonna ask you this, and you can answer that. But they want to know what's the difference between vegan and vegetarian. So that's a good one.
Okay, great. Let's do that question after we finish our plate.
Yes. Okay. So for those who don't see, so in my large bowl, I got the cauliflower and the broccoli. So I have both of those.
Okay. All right. So that's gonna go in the larger part of your plate.
Okay, I got it right
and
here.
then if you want it, you could also add the carrots, because a lot of times you might have like a California mix or something like that.
Okay.
Where you actually have those three combined.
And
you can
I got a lot of
them
color.
in the skillet, or you can steam them. Go ahead.
So I got some color. Yeah.
Got some color.
So
you can also roast them in the oven, especially like, you know, this season we like to kind of start roasting vegetables. You can actually roast them in the oven with a little bit of olive oil.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Yeah. So you have your vegetables, and then your next thing is going to be your starch. So you got to decide what starch you're going to have with that.
Okay, so I got a tortilla. I got a piece of loaf bread. What we say down south, loaf bread, Wonder Bread.
Okay.
I got a couple graham crackers, and I think that's it. So I can pick.
Did you say you had corn?
Yeah, I got corn.
Hey, okay, great. So let's put corn in the smaller portion of your plate. You don't have any grains or rice or anything like that, right?
No, but is the corn gonna digest? After a long night of eating corn, you kind of see it the next day.
Nah. So you can actually have corn. Okay, you can also have the bread. It doesn't have to be Wonder Bread. It may be a dinner.
Actually,
this is or it may be cornbread or something like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your starch option in the smaller portion of your plate. Right?
Okay, I got it.
All right, and then we're going to choose our protein. So which protein do we have?
Roast beef. Well, I don't know. Does it look like roast beef? Yeah, roast beef. And then I have in one of them I have chicken. Barnyard pimp. Barnyard pimp, what we call it down south.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so are you going to eat the chicken or the beef for dinner tonight?
Let's go roast beef. I feel like an Arby's man.
Okay, great. All right, so you're going to put your roast beef on your plate, right? And then you're going to show us your plate. Let's see what it looks like.
All right, can you see me?
You got to put it up in front of the camera.
Okay, so I have a whole bunch of color, okay? So do you see it?
Mm-hmm. So color is good.
So I have in my larger tray, I got my carrots. Can you see that? I have
so we got your carrots, your broccoli, your cauliflower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the smaller portion, I have my starch. I have that corn. And then I have a medium slab, just one slice of roast beef.
Okay, so roast beef is going to be a lean option for your protein, right?
Uh-huh.
So I guess my question is this. If you wanted to add a fruit to your meal, you could actually add a fruit option.
Okay, so I got two options here. Got a banana.
Right.
And an orange.
Oh, so I love the oranges, but it's really depending on what you want. You can actually have the orange.
Well, you the nutritionist.
I have a banana with breakfast. I like bananas for breakfast.
I like banana and oatmeal for breakfast. That's a staple. And, as I get older, I need that fiber in my life.
Yes. So, cool. So another thing you want to consider is not everyone eats meat.
Okay, so I can take the meat off.
No, I'm saying, what you want to do is you want to consider, if you don't eat meat, that you have an alternative. So the question about what's the difference between vegan and vegetarian, we can talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Great question. Great question from Mr. Ashley
Right.
Kelly.
So say you're vegan or vegetarian and you don't eat, you're vegan, you definitely don't eat any meat products. You don't eat any animal products, right? Not even honey. So you want to look at suitable options that are plant-based, right? That you can include that are also protein options, right?
Okay.
So you might do a grain that's higher in protein. You may do beans or nuts or seeds. There's so many different options out there, right? If you're vegetarian, there are different types of vegetarian, right? So you may be vegetarian, but you consume like egg products. Or you may consume dairy products, right? So you also want to take that into consideration when you're planning your meals, right? So that roast beef, you would simply find a plant-based protein option to substitute that with. And that really just depends on your preference.
What about is there like soybean?
For instance, tonight, what I'm doing is I'm actually going to do a wild rice pilaf, and I'm also doing black beans. And that's actually, and some mixed vegetables in what I like to call the Buddha bowl, because you can add different options in there. Some people are pescatarian and they only do like fish, right? So they may have their grain, they may have their vegetables, and then they may add fish to that. So it really just depends on what type of, meal plan that you usually use.
Okay, because we do have someone that's on our podcast, Morel Event Staff, and I know they definitely try to balance their diet, and they're usually jumping in a couple of the podcasts. I don't know if she's gonna call in, but a lot of people
out here. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. A lot of ladies always have questions about nutrition as well, so hopefully she'll call in with her question. All right, so
okay, excellent.
All right.
So yes. So that's what we have. So were there any other questions about that?
No, I think you kind of answered it. All right. Here go another. Now this is a funny one though. So I hope you're sitting down. All right. Are sodas bad for me? You know.
All right. So
cause depending on where you from in the South or where you from, what region, you know, you can wake up having a soda and you go to sleep having a soda. You know, I mean, you know, I've seen 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids drinking sodas. So you want to debunk that myth?
Yeah, so what I would say is, again, it really goes back to what your goals are, and really looking at overall health and wellness, and what are we getting out of it, right? Sodas are considered empty calorie items, right? So you're not really going to get your vitamins and minerals from soda, right? So the question becomes, why am I drinking it? How often am I drinking it, and how much am I drinking, right?
Now hold on. Now, you know, after a big meal, you gotta have that good old belching now. So you gotta have that Coke, and they're gonna free up some space in their stomach to keep going back. You know, these buffets. You know, gotta get around about 4 or 5 plates, right?
Okay, so if your goal is weight management, right? And you're really looking to cut your empty calories and really kind of cut back on the amount of sugar that you're consuming, then you really want to look at maybe cutting back significantly on your soda intake, right? As far as the carbonation, that's what's going to help you belch, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a Coke, right? You can do regular seltzer water. You can do like a fruit-infused carbonated beverage, right? That doesn't have the extra sugar in it, right? If you wanted to have a soda every once in a while, I mean, that's fine, but you want to look at, again, what are your goals, okay? And then when are you going to have it, right? How much are you consuming, right? So usually about 6 to 8 ounces is a serving, right? Sometimes we get the 20 ounce and we drink the whole thing. We have to just be mindful, right, when it comes to the carbonated beverage consumption that contains the extra sugar.
Okay. Hey, we have someone that actually called in on the podcast. So, my real event staffing. Hey, hello.
Hey, you know how to call in on this nutrition podcast because I struggle with soda.
Hey. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hold on. Let's clap for the caller.
Thank you.
Caller, what you got? What question you got?
The soda part is one that hits close to my heart because I love a soda, Coke with everything. But I found when you say it's how much you drink, I can still lose weight if I'm eating good and kind of exercising. I can still lose weight. That's one soda or a couple sodas a week isn't going to put me over. It's really how much you consume.
Exactly.
Sugar.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm no expert. I just noticed that that's what happens with my body.
Exactly. So that's why I said, if you have it, once or you're really looking at the amount that you're having, you're not drinking a 20 ounce every day, then that can fit within moderation.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I just had to jump in really quick because
let her ask you another question then, my real event staff. And so how many times?
Thanks for joining us.
Well, hold on. Let's ask her a couple questions then. So what do you eat for breakfast then?
Coffee.
Oh. I know a lot of ladies drink coffee. They feel that's gonna make them lose weight. So, Miss Muhammad, what do you think about that myth?
Well, wait. I didn't say I was drinking it to lose weight. I'm just not hungry.
Okay, you're right.
I'm just not hungry in the morning, so coffee usually holds me over until lunch around 11:30.
Okay.
Oh, and what do you eat for lunch?
It varies. It varies. It definitely varies. Like today, for example, let's just say today I had a bagel with tuna, lettuce, tomato, and a slice of Swiss cheese with onion rings and a Coke.
Oh, so your bagel, you got your protein, you got your vegetables in there, and then you had a Coke.
But I will say that I only ate half of the bagel, so I really had half of my sandwich, and then I just had the other half for dinner.
Okay, well, I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. Just make sure you're also getting the water in that you need every day.
Oh, absolutely. I love water, so that's not a problem. I just love Coke just as equal.
Isn't water in Coke?
What'd you say?
Isn't water in
I said,
Coke?
okay, so yeah.
Meal prep, what did you say?
I said, I was just being funny. I said, isn't water in Coke?
Oh, yeah. But I definitely drink plenty of water. I have water at my desk all day. I'm filling up my water jar all day. So that's definitely not a problem.
Hydration is important.
Yeah, I don't need lemon or anything. I can just drink straight water. I love water.
All right.
Awesome,
Well, stay hydrated.
Yes,
Thank you.
definitely. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
I'm just going to listen in, meal prep.
All right.
Okay.
First time caller,
All right.
long time listener. All right.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yes,
All right.
indeed. All right. Here's a good one though, Miss Muhammad. How does diabetes affect the community? And I think you have to probably look at which community.
That's a very broad question.
Yeah, it is. What about the American of African descent communities?
Wow.
If I
okay,
can
so
say that.
Your question, repeat that question.
How does diabetes affect the community? Is it, let's say if you're in a low income area and all you got around you is fast food and alcohol, right? So in a 2-mile radius, 3-mile radius, when you look out, only thing you're seeing is Bojangles, McDonald's, KFC, and liquor store in every corner and stuff like that. Versus, you go to another neighborhood, you may see salad places everywhere you look. You won't see any package stores or liquor stores and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's too big of a term. Basically,
that's very broad. But I guess I will say this: your food options are not just your fast food options, right? Growing up, a lot of my parents they cooked at home. So you have to actually notice what is available within your home, because your health really starts within your kitchen, right? So, like even in my neighborhood, we have McDonald's, we have Checkers, we have all that kind of stuff. We also have Panera, and other options. So it really just depends on what you have available, what you're able to cook at home, because what you're putting in your body is really going to influence your overall health. And we do have choices.
Okay. Awesome. All right. This was a question that actually that you and the caller, Morel Event Staffing, talked about. How many glasses of water should I drink? So y'all talked about drinking a lot of water. How many glasses should they consume?
All right.
Daily.
I really love this question. When it comes to overall consumption, as it relates to water, we're really looking at our fluid needs are basically determined by our age. It can be determined by our gender, our kidney and heart function, as well as really the intensity and duration of any physical activity we're engaged in, right? So again, we're looking, your water intake can actually help with your weight management, right? The lack of water can result in dehydration, and you can get really tired. You can actually worsen cold and flu symptoms by not being adequately hydrated. And usually the general recommendation amount for healthy adults is about 2 liters a day. And that's not all water, right? That's fluids in general. So a lot of times when I'm counseling my patients and I'm kind of looking at what their fluid needs are, I'm asking these questions. I'm asking questions about urine output. I'm asking questions about heart health, okay? People with CHF may be on a water restriction if they have, congestive heart failure, right?
So if
you are an athlete, of course, you're looking at overall hydration, and you're also looking at different electrolyte needs. If you are, you have higher intensity or longer duration of activity, then you want to make sure that you're replacing those fluids. So it really just depends on what your overall needs are. Right? There are telltale symptoms of being dehydrated. for the most part, some of those tips can be basically looking at starting your day with a glass of warm water when you get up. Because of course, you know, your body dehydrates overnight, right? So you want to make sure that you get the appropriate amount of fluids for hydration. And some people, I know our last caller, she said she likes water straight, and that's fine. You can drink your water straight. Some people like to add a slice of lemon to it if they want to. And then some people actually do herbal teas, right? Like peppermint or jasmine or lemon ginger, which are all caffeine free. But of course they're made with water. And we're talking basic teas. We're not talking adding a lot of additional sugars or sweeteners and things like that. So it really just depends on overall what your fluid needs are.
Okay. So earlier during this segment out here, you also spoke of urine levels.
Urine output.
Urine output. What is that?
Right. So urine output, commonly, you know, if you're, I counsel a lot of renal patients, right? And sometimes their urine output isn't as much, right? Due to their kidney function.
Okay, I got
So sometimes they can be on a fluid restriction. So it really just depends on what the output is, and then that's going to help determine what their fluid needs are.
I got you. Okay. All right, cool. And this one right here, you're gonna touch some nerves now. I gotta flatten my hat down for this one right here, okay? What about alcohol consumption? I gotta flatten my hat out now on that one. What about alcohol consumption? Because we know during COVID, a lot of people are quarantined, you know, depression, a lot of, you know, issues going on. I heard that, you know, alcohol consumption has increased, weight management, working out has increased in some stats, but, you know, the alcohol consumption has increased. And when our podcast that we were having a few weeks ago in mental health in the community, we kind of touched on that. What do you think?
Yeah, so as far as, I guess from a dietary nutrition perspective, when it comes to alcohol consumption, we're definitely looking at alcohol consumption as something that is used sparingly. And usually, like, the recommendation is like one serving for women and 2 servings for men, and that's as little as like 4 to 6 ounces, so it's not very much.
Okay.
So again, you have your recommendations versus what is actually consumed, right?
Yeah.
So we're also looking at, you know, as far as alcohol consumption, that does contribute to increased calorie consumption and things like that. So you just want to make sure that you're not overdoing it.
Yeah.
So some people tend to overdo it. I mean, with anything else, with any other, you know, cookies or cakes or candies or whatever. Again, these are empty calories, right? So you're not getting very, very many vitamins and minerals and things like that. They're not a nutrient dense food or beverage. So you just want to make sure that that's something that you consume very little to none of.
Well, let me ask you this. What if you do like they used to do at these parties? You get a watermelon, you cut a hole in the watermelon, and you put vodka in there. So technically, you eating the watermelon, right?
I'm not recommending that. I'd say just eat the watermelon.
But that's true, too.
But everyone has their own
take all the fun out of eating it. Okay. Here go one that's essential to what I do in all these bowls that we have here. How can I prep my food? So, you know, how can I prep my food? You know, I got all these plates. I got 5 plates, so I think this is telling me I'm eating 5 times a day, 5 small meals. You know, so what would your recommendation on that be?
Okay, so a lot of times we also want to ask, again, what are your goals, right? So when we talk about meal prep, you can meal prep for 2-3 days at a time. You can meal prep for the week, right? What you want to focus on is, again, you want to focus on balance, right? So we're talking about making sure that we're including things like protein, we're including our heart healthy fats, and we're also including green leafy, you know, vegetables, our fruits, and our whole grains. Okay, so high fiber, whole grain, you know, starchy vegetables, things like that. And then it really just depends on what you like to eat.
Yeah.
Some people don't like to eat the same thing every day. Some people do.
Get
Some
bored.
people don't mind, right? So a lot of it is just making sure that you're planning properly ahead of time, right?
Okay.
it actually saves money to prep food ahead of time.
Yes.
So it really just depends on what you're prepping, right? So I love grains, so I always keep non-perishables, like bulgur or couscous or wild rice or something like that, where I have grains that are easily prepared, and I usually keep fresh or frozen vegetables on that I can either saute or steam quickly, okay, and then some type of protein, right? So again, you can do the same thing for 2 or 3 days, or you can switch it up. So it really just depends on what you want to eat and how many people you're preparing for.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Last question. Let's say if I'm a student, right? I'm listening in, and now I'm ambitious. The podcast, this segment, Nutrition in the Community, motivated me. How can I get into the nutrition field? Like, is there a course that I just take in college, or is it like curriculum? Like, how do I, straight out of high school, or should I prepare in high school to become a nutritionist?
Wow. Okay. So you want to be a dietitian? That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah, dietitian. Yes.
Usually, what I did was I actually went to Georgia State.
GSU.
I completed a bachelor's in science, right? And then you can actually complete your bachelor's in several different fields. But I did mine in science, and then I actually applied to a dietetic internship program. And my dietetic internship program was 9 months, right? And it was a coordinated program. So I was also doing my master's at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So you have different ways you can do it. You can do the coordinated program and then the master's. I recommend you go ahead and do, if the master's is offered, you go ahead and do that anyway, because it's going to be required as of 2024. Okay. And they have different universities that offer the program, the coordinated program. You can always look on a university's page under, degrees offered and programs that they offer to learn more. And talk to your counselor about it. Usually when you enroll in undergrad, you get a counselor or an advisor. If that's something you're interested in, talk to them about it. And then they can refer you, to the proper program within the college or university.
Awesome.
But I would shout out Georgia State, because I went there and I know they have an awesome coordinated program.
Shout out to Georgia State. So let me end with this. How can people or potential clients get in contact with you if they wanted guidance, become a client of yours on nutrition? Because it's hard to get started and hard to stay motivated, and we do need that coach in the community. So how can we get in contact with you?
Okay. Well, I'm on Instagram, of course. YaQutullah _nutrition prescriptions. I'm also on Facebook, Nutrition Prescriptions LLC. I'm on LinkedIn. I mean, there's so many different ways to get a hold of me. Currently, I actually do weight management programs that are virtual. And you do between 3 and 6 sessions, so it's really customized and individualized for the person. And I also do group classes via Zoom, which are pretty cool.
Awesome.
A lot of times I also work with physicians' offices, and they refer patients to me. And then we're able to kind of set up, for those who aren't doctors' referrals, we do individual, like an actual free discovery session, where you can reach out to me, you can ask questions and concerns, and kind of get a little feel for if we're a good fit for working together. If you visit me on Instagram, you can actually go to my LinkedIn bio, and you can get more information on how to schedule a session with me.
Awesome. Well, we definitely thank you for your time. This was a great session. Nutrition in the community is something that this is a global issue, and it takes people like you, and I thank you for taking the time to come out and talk to us about it, because again, this is something that we all have to work on, and eating disorders or eating issues or just basic nutrition is something that's pertinent to me. And growing up in Everton, that I just saw a lot, and so I definitely thank you for your time, Miss YaQutullah Muhammad. If you need anything, just let me know, and I definitely appreciate your time.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I hope you guys have a great evening and a great week.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So So we all also had a comment in there. Package store was an essential business, during the pandemic. So again, Meal Prep Monday, we look to add value and be an asset to you, and we definitely thank you for your time. We want to continue to get these podcasts and get this information out to the people because, again, health is wealth. You cannot just live your life focusing on money or finances. You have to have that balance of mental health, spiritual, emotional, nutrition, physical health, family, love. You need all of that. So, again, I think that's going to give you a healthy balance. So, again, Michael Burton, Meal Prep Monday. I'll see y'all on our next show. Thank you. All right. Facebook Live, we're out. And IG Live, we're out. Thank you all.